Hey everybody, welcome back. Hey, I'm with Lauren again, and Lauren and I are diving back into her center management tool. So last week we gave her an introduction, an orientation. We begin the process of customizing and entering her children into her center management tool. So if you haven't watched that video, we'll put a link up here to that video. Make sure you watch that one first, and I would come back to this one. So today we're going to do Lauren's center management tool, episode 102, if you will, or course 102. So now we're going to get in and we're going to look at what she's updated. We're going to clean up her center management tool. We're going to start customizing it. So this instruction is ideal because then you can learn how to customize yours as well and see how efficient she's going to be able to see her program and run her program with this tool. So that's what we're doing today. We're diving back into her center management tool, and we're going to get busy. So here we go.
The timing is perfect, just saying. Isn't technology a fabulous thing when it works?
Nope, that line's still there. Okay, we'll live with that for a minute.
This is helpful. This is way helpful.
Follow me. Then this is the channel for you. You go. It's pretty cool, huh?
Looking at garden and footprints, we got that finished up last week. So there's a couple kiddos in here that don't have a schedule. Are they kind of a drop-in scenario, or?
So I wasn't 100% sure on the schedule. So how it's worked is Steve has been doing the schedule. So I just haven't had a chance to confirm on some of these kiddos. So
Okay.
I didn't want to quite put them in until I exactly knew.
That's a perfect example of why this is going to be so great, because Steve's going to be able to watch these videos, be able to go, okay, now I understand.
Yep.
And you'll know exactly what he knows when he knows it.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if he's sitting next to you or if he's home office or in a different office.
Yep.
You got it. That's going to be critical. Okay. So you plugged in, it sounds like, the schedules that you were aware of, that you were able to confirm.
Yep. But as you can see, there's a lot of holes, and and it's just getting both of us on the same page, because he's taken more of a role with our food program. So this is why this is so important. We had to get on the same page. So
you bet. You bet. Sounds good.
So we went in here and cleaned it up. The interesting thing is that Lauren talked about how she was aware of certain schedules, but Steve, her coworker and co-administrator, was intimately aware of some other schedules. And so they really didn't and weren't able to be on the same page. So what happened is Lauren and I plugged in episode 101. We plugged in the schedules that she was aware of in their infant and toddler rooms. And then she finished, and then Steve came back in. They worked together. They plugged in the rest. And now, as you can see, their center totals, now their center is filling up at 87% capacity, it looks like right now. So congratulations, Steve and Lauren, to getting on the same page. That's so awesome. Let me just show you a few other things that I helped her with. So with some of these kiddos, there was extra lines in here that they didn't need. So I showed her how to click on 17, how to hold the shift key, click on 22, and just clean up and delete some additional or extra roles that weren't needed. We also went down here and made sure that all of the bottom names on these tabs were cleaned up so that they match the classrooms. So garden and oceans, jungle, ocean, train, aviation. Also, if I jump out here past the center total page, these are the records of meals served. So we went through here and we renamed these as well. And I'm noticing garden footprints, jungle. So we need to rename 1, 2, 3 more classrooms. Let me do that real quick. We need to get ocean, train, and aviation. So it's as simple as clicking the bottom tab. This is going to be ocean. Yep. Whoops, I want to save that. Whoops. What's going on here? Oh, it's giving me an error because I already have one called ocean. So ocean F for food. And then we want train. and then we want aviation. All right, so again, just getting familiar with those. Oh, here's something else we want to do. So we want to go ahead and rename these garden. Garden and footprints. That classroom there. We're going to rename these jungle. So there's a little bit of of manual update you've got to do because you're naming your classrooms differently. Just be aware by the time you may get into your CMT, we could have potentially automated a lot of this other stuff as well. So just be ready and excited for that. Beautiful. So we've just kind of updated those things. So when you print out these rosters for your teachers, they'll be looking amazing. Now, Lauren also mentioned that Steve's going to be working on the food program. So I want, Steve, this one's for you. Here's your garden and footprints food roster. You'll notice that you've got all your kids organized, free, reduced, and paid, because when we go run back to the classrooms themselves, you'll see up here free, reduced, and paid, A, B, and C. And we're coding these kiddos here so that to comply with the food program, we're able to calculate and add up who ate when and so forth. And we talk about this next week also with Lauren when we get into CMT Customization 103. However, you want to make sure you've got enough spacing for your kids. So everybody's classroom may have a different number of children enrolled. Let me look here. I've got plenty of room for more free, reduced, and paid children. Let's go to the jungle room and take a look. And it looks like I've got some pretty good room there. I can go ahead and remove some of these rows. Just keep in mind there's formulas hidden over here on the right side. And so when we add rows, we'll want to copy. I'll show you here in just a second. But let's say you want to have a little bit more room here in the B category. And I created row 25, 26. And I'm going to actually copy one of these rows that already has children's data inside, because to the right side over here, it's got formulas. So I'm going to copy TJ's row and I'm going to paste that onto 25 and onto 26. And what I've just done is I've copied those formulas on the right side over there. So when I insert rows, I just need to copy a cell with children's information in there and paste it on top of that cell. So as we have more children enroll in this reduced food category, they'll be added automatically. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clean that up, simplify. We're going to jump over to the ocean room. And again, you see we have a lot of kiddos over here. It's a smaller room, so we can delete some of those. It'll fit better on a page when she goes to print. Let's take a look at the train room. Now the train room looks pretty good. We happen to have a lot of A's, only a couple B's and one C's. Let's go verify that by jumping over here, looking on the train room. Built for 16 children. We have 9 and 10. We have a lot of A's, a C, and 2 B's, so that looks correct. So right now the layout is great. Let's take a look at the train room right here. Let's see and look at how in the reduced category, there's no more rows. If we go back to the classroom itself, and let's say we add some more kiddos. Let me do it 2 ways here. I like to add in the middle of the classroom. And again, don't forget, copy this cell here, that row, and paste the new kids that you're going to add. So all the formulas are there for you. And now I'm going to name them. I'm going to go Tom 1, Tom 2, all right, so we got a bunch of Toms, and now we're going to go ahead and give them a full-time schedule Monday through Friday. And watch this. I'm going to take this A here, and I'm going to put them all in that category. So they all have a schedule. I'm not worried about the birth date, because now I want to look back at the train room. And what you'll see, we've got some Toms in here, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 children. Well, that's counted there for us in that A category. Let's go back over to the train. 1, 2, well, up here we have 13. The problem is we don't have enough lines. So if your classroom needs more lines over here, watch this. I'm going to select those cells. I'm going to insert below. I'm going to copy Tom, and I'm going to insert him right here. And nobody entered in there on that bottom one because I got just enough kids. I'm going to insert some more rows, insert rows below, and I'm going to copy Xavier, and I'm just going to make sure those formulas are in those new rows. So now as I enroll new children in that A category, in the free category, they're going to be added naturally into here. So that's how you can add rows to the ROMs, the Records of Meals Served tab, for any particular room, train room, ready to go. Now, again, that was just for exercise. I'm going to go back to the train room. I'm going to get rid of my 5 Toms. And I go look back at our food program, and they're removed, and we're all good. And now we've got a few extra rows in there, so again, I can delete a few rows. And we're back to basics and ready to go for printing this off for teachers to take roll call during meals.
For Steve, if he's in charge of the food program, you're clearly going to be able to get him dialed into these ROMs, these records of meals served sheets. It's going to make his life a lot easier.
Yep. The timing is perfect. Just saying.
What I love about collaboration on this is I can see you working. I can see what cells you're clicking on and what you're doing.
Isn't technology a fabulous thing when it works?
Yeah. The nice thing too, though, is that when a child moves up from one room to another, you can grab them from the train, copy them, and then paste them in aviation when they move up from one room to the other.
I was wondering what you did.
It.
Okay, so case in point, let's say that Sedona or Davian, because Davian's turning 4, is ready to move up from the train room to the aviation room. Here's how we do this. We just simply take Davian. I'm going to hit Control-C for copy. I'm going to go over to the train room. I'm going to find an empty, well, let's do this. A, B, C, D. Here I'm going to insert a row, and then I'm going to hit Control-V. And now I've just copied Davian from one to the other, from one room, from train to aviation room. All right, so that's what I was talking about, moving. And then I can come down here and I can pull Davian down. Sometimes what I like to do is have this little spot where it says moving up. And I'll put that kind of in that area there. So, or I could say to aviation. So that on this roster, and I could put over here, move up 12-1. And it lets my teachers know that, hey, Davian's moving up 12-1. All right. And now he's up on the aviation room.
Do you put the kids that are no longer there?
And at any time I could delete Stella's line.
Right.
I kind of like to move them down so we can kind of see that until maybe the ledger's all cleaned up, or attendance is all cleaned up, or anything like that, and then I may end up go ahead and deleting them at any time after that.
That makes sense.
I'm just gonna undo that.
So let's say that Joseph, his last day is going to be 11:30, and for my staff, I'm going to put that in there, last day 11:30. And for me, because that's pretty close, I'm going to go ahead and paint his cells red. And then, so I know that he's leaving, okay? And sometimes I might even paint this over here red on the right side. And so now 11:30 is coming, or it's come. I'm going to grab him. I'm going to pull him down to withdrawn below. So once he's gone, I'm pull them down. I'm going to go ahead and delete his meal tracking, his schedule, and the payment cycle. So it takes him off of my numbers completely. And then this is what I was talking about with Lauren. At some point, I'm going to come back and I'm going to go ahead and completely delete him off of our roster once I've maybe taken care of other things, like been in my software. I've looked at his ledger and we've said goodbye, and they've picked up all of his, personal belongings out of his cubby and so forth.
Okay.
If you want to plan for like Thanksgiving break, you want to know what your numbers are going to be for Thanksgiving break, then we can actually create.
All right, so I gave Lauren homework last week, and she went in with these drop-in care kiddos. These are her school agers, her district preschool, kindergarten, first grade, maybe a second grader. Cody's probably in first grade. And she went in here and made a plan, said, okay, Archer's going to be here next week for Thanksgiving when the local elementary school is out of session. So she went in here and plugged in the days that they are going to be here. So you got to watch my video next week with Lauren, CMT Customization 103, and I'll show her and you how to create a plan for that Thanksgiving week, or maybe it's winter and break, Christmas break, those non-school, those non-elementary school days, and how you can plan ahead for that. So that's next week.
Hey, if you haven't already jumped into the treasure chest, make sure you do that. The link is in the description below of this video. And if you have questions on everything that's in the treasure chest, the wait list, the center management tool, send me an email, give me a phone call, be happy to chat with you. These kiddos here, Anastasia through Zachariah, these are kiddos that are coming with you on a normal schedule.
Yes.
And some of these kiddos, maybe some of them are going to be gone that Thanksgiving week, and maybe some of them will be there.
See, because we do have some school teachers, so some of them will be gone, but then we'll replace them with the others. But I just need to know who. So
perfect. But I'm going to show you how to plan. We're going to build this roster specifically for that week of Thanksgiving. So you know exactly how many kiddos are going to be gone and how many are coming.
Awesome.
And you'll be able to hit Control P and print it out for your teachers. It'll be nice and super clean.
That's cool.
You and Steve are going to be able to learn this system so that you can communicate. So whether you're taking a phone call or he is, it doesn't matter as long as we're making the note on here.
Yes, exactly. Yay, all for going forward.
All right.
This is the key, because I needed to know who was coming, who was going, and we need to help more families with what's going on in our community. And I didn't know if I could, so now I exactly know that I can.
And now I micromanage our classroom by the different times of the day.
Okay.
One of the other things that I talked about with Lauren is using our legend up here to communicate with yourself, remind yourself, and your other administrators as far as who's coming and going, who wants what. So, for example, if someone comes in and they have not paid for care yet, and you've penciled them in, you can put down yellow. Yellow means has not paid for care yet. Green would be an example of, let's say that you are full on Tuesdays and Isabel wanted to come full time. So I would use green for that to indicate that she wants to add that day when that's available. Maybe you're full Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and you also have Catherine's family that wants to add those days. They don't need Friday, but they do need Monday through Thursday. So I'm going to put green on there. So when that opens up, I'm assuming that the classroom is full. Maybe it's all at 20s the whole way. Okay. And then secondly, let's say that Leo is going to be dropping Tuesdays and Thursdays January 1st, because Leo's going to be doing kickboxing. Okay. So I might put on here dropping Tuesday, Thursday, January 1st. So I'm just going to put a little note on there. And I put it red, so I'm just paying attention that that could happen, like that is going to happen. So I'm just planning ahead and knowing what people are doing. And maybe for whatever reason, Layla has not been coming regularly Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So if I notice that, I might paint that this purple color, which is current parent conversation, meaning that, hey, I need to have a conversation with Layla's mom when she comes next week to see if she's interested in dropping those days, and then I can give them to Catherine, who needs those days. Got it? So that's a little example of how you can use some coloration on your schedule to know what's happening with your kids now, later, new kids coming, kids needing days, kids dropping days, or days that you need to communicate with parents about.
All right, I hope that was informative. I'll be back with Lauren again next week as we'll go into Lauren's Center Management Tool 103 and continue on that instruction and continuing to get it dialed in, customized and personalized for her, as well as how to begin using it in her program. So thanks for watching. Hey, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. Drop me any comments. If you have questions about what we're doing or why we're doing it, or maybe a suggestion on what you're doing. I'd love to hear your comments. I'll be sure to respond to everyone. Thanks and have a marvelous day.